I hope you're gonna make it go. Hey everybody. Welcome to Girl, Who Don't You Know is my talk show. I am the original baby boomer, you know that, right? And this is part of my bucket list. So thank you so much for tuning in. We're transforming mind one show at a time, okay? So it's our hope that we're going to transform your mind today. Please share the show, share the show, share the show. We're going to give you time. If somebody out there that needs to know about imposter syndrome and perfectionism, we're going to help you to know what it is and know what it ain't. Okay, please go to Girl Who Don't You Know on Facebook, and you can post your comments right there during the live show, or you can go to YouTube at Maryland underscore pink and green. So go there, share the show, tell a friend, come on in, because we're going to be chatting it up with some show enough serious PhDs today, all right? Okay, here's my question. What's your favorite cookout food? I mean, I was talking to the ladies and I said, we don't say cookout out here in Illinois. We say barbecue. Okay, what's your favorite barbecue food? Okay, mine is potato salad. I love some good potato salad. And maybe some baked beans sometime. But if I had to choose one, it's definitely going to be good potato salad. So, hey, put it in the comments. Tell me what's your favorite food. Tell me where you're from. Tell me all that. Hey, guess what? Guess what? Straight off the presses, I have a new show theme coming out. I got sisters that are doing it, brothers that is doing it, and chatting it up. Now, my latest one is Snapshot. Okay, what is it? 10 to 15 minutes. You're going to talk about your organization, your cause, your event, and it's going to be debuting on June the 12th, 2023. It's going to be coming in between on the 2nd, the 4th, and the 5th Mondays. The time, I'm not really sure because guess what? It's going to be pre-recorded. So if you want to do that and come on Snapshot, I get it wrong every time. Please contact me, girl, WDYK at gmail.com. Okay, so hey, get in right now. Also, ISO in search of. I am looking for audience members who have been watching my show to be my special guest with me on Sunday, May the 21st, okay, from 2 to 3 Central Standard Time. I'm going to be celebrating 2, not 1, not 3, but 2 years of transforming minds one show at a time. And I want you to tell your story because I am sure that I've changed somebody's mind, okay? So please contact me at girlwdyk at gmail.com, okay? So I think that's all my announcement. Great name, Snapshot. Thank you so much, John, aka Fred. Thank you so much, son. I appreciate that. So please go to Girl Who Don't You Know on Facebook. Give me a comment. All right. I'd like to hear from you. I want to know your favorite food at a cookout, aka barbecue. Or you can go to Maryland on underscore pink and green YouTube. Okay. So we're going to get started here. And tonight's topic is imposter syndrome and perfectionism. Now, remember this. We are not trying to diagnose you, okay? What we're trying to do is transform your mind, give you some food for thought, give you something to think about, when we talk about imposter syndrome and perfectionism, okay? We're going to be talking about, some people don't believe that imposter syndrome exists. Some people do believe it exists. Some people say it's real. Some people say it's not real. We have strong opinions about it, But I think when we unpack it tonight, you can make your own decision at that time. So, hey, let me know who's on, where you're from, what type of cookout food you like, and all that. So I'm waiting on you to tell me some food. Okay, somebody got to put something up there, Kiara, so I can go on. John, I need to hear from you. Then I know you're listening. Okay. What's your favorite food? What's your favorite food? Okay, so nobody wants to say. Okay, what's your favorite cookout food? I know you got one. Or y'all just don't want to do a cookout. Okay, I'll stop pressuring the people. Okay, Michelle Vance. Good evening. I'm here from Greensboro, North Carolina. How are you, Michelle? What type of cookout food do you like? Okay, we'll just have to pick on you, Michelle, since you came up there. What type of food do you like? All righty then. Okay, Michelle, you don't go to cookouts. If you don't go, if you do go, okay, you're gonna have to find out your favorite food. Okay. Macaroni and cheese. Okay, please. Thank you, Michelle Vance. I really do appreciate you all the way from North Kakalaki. Okay. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. I know some more people out there. I can see it's at least 7 people looking, and I've only heard from one person. Okay, so what's your favorite cookout food? Okay. All right, since I've already said everything I wanted to say, I guess it's time to bring my amazing, okay, baked beans, Kylan, the mayor of Maplewood, Missouri. Kylan, how you doing? Baked beans, good to see you, girl. Good to see you. Okay, so I'm going to bring up some really pretty ladies. Okay, they're really pretty, and they're probably going to start smiling real hard soon. Okay. I can see them down there in what I call my green room. Okay. They're coming up and we're going to be talking about the topic today. Okay. Look, Curtis Lewis said he likes some smoked sausage. Okay. I heard that. All right. So we're going to be talking about imposter syndrome and perfectionism today. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring my first guest up, and it's going to be Dr. Sonyia Richardson. And here she is looking all
Hello.
pretty.
Hey.
Hey, what's going
Hey.
on?
Not much, not much. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm super fantastic today.
Yeah,
Excited to be here. Excited to be here.
me
Okay,
too.
so Sonia Richardson is an entrepreneur. She's a professor, clinician, and an author. Tell
Yes,
us about that entrepreneur piece right there.
yes. So started a mental health agency here in Charlotte, North Carolina, about 17 years ago. And
Wow.
so we primarily serve people of color here in Charlotte with mental health services, wellness initiatives, training. We do consulting across the country. So just a lot of different stuff focused on racialized communities.
Okay, so did you during COVID-19 did you get into a lot of telehealth,
Yes,
or
yes,
do
yes.
you still do it?
We're still doing telehealth.
Okay.
Telehealth has worked really good for the communities that we serve, so we continue to serve people with telehealth. But yeah, so we're one of the longest standing Black-owned agencies. It's myself and my sister are the co-owners, but we've been owning this agency for 17 years now. So proud to still be in the number.
Oh wow, I didn't know that was your sister.
It is
Okay,
my
is it
sister.
Treva? Treva
Yes,
Copeland said,
Treva.
"Hey, Dr.
Hey.
Richardson."
Yes. Hi, Treva. Hey, Michelle
Okay,
and John and Fred. Fred.
okay. So Michelle Van said, "You're welcome. Here to hear my sister. Glad to hear, I
Yeah.
guess, my sister, Dr. Sonia
Thank you,
Richardson.
Dr. Vance. Thank you so
Dr.
much.
Vance, I heard that. Okay, so look, you also a professor. Where are you a professor at? I know
Yes,
it's in North Carolina. I kind of know
yeah,
what it is, but tell the audience.
yes. I'm an assistant professor at UNC Charlotte in the School of Social Work. So I am a social worker. Yes.
Okay, I like that. And so, clinician and author. Okay,
Yes. Got my book.
Pierre, can you put a book name up there for us? I think
Yes.
it's in that list.
So I
It
have a book
is.
that just came out about 2 weeks ago,
Okay.
Experiencing Greater. I have a book signing this Friday here in Charlotte. And this is a baby that was birthed. It took about 4 years for me to write this.
Really?
It's called Experiencing Greater, an intimate journey with God. And I literally went through a journey of intimacy with God over a 4 year period. And so I go through in this book, the main character named Royalty goes through 13 cities with God, city of doubt, city of hesitancy, city of
Wow.
fear, city of tragedy, and learns lessons of surrender and intimacy with God in going through these cities. So I literally had to go through each city in my personal life to be able to write the book. So it took me a course of 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys need to go get this book.
You
Okay.
too.
I need this book. I need to go
Yes.
13. I probably need about 15, 16, 17 cities. Okay. I
I
need 20.
know.
I
But
need 20.
can I tell y'all why you need this book? Um,
Tell us,
I'm
girl,
gonna tell you
tell
why. I'm
us.
gonna tell you why. Because it was birthed from a vision someone shared with me a couple of years ago. It was a minister friend of mine, Brian Williams. He told me, he said, Sonia, he said, you are a princess, but you're dressed in peasant clothes. He said, you're looking like a peasant, you're talking like a peasant. He said, but you're not a peasant, you're a princess. He said, you're royalty. He said, you need to act like royalty. You need to show up in royalty. And so the book is about the main character, Royalty, who awakens to her greatness. Because I found myself shrinking a lot in life, and I had to learn how to show up in my greatness. And so if you are finding yourself shrinking, and not walking in all of your greatness and royalty, this book walks you through how to get to that, how to get to the royalty.
Okay, I'm not saying that you are, but you was kind of like an imposter just a little bit. Okay,
Hey, you
you
got
was.
a point. You
I
got a
got a
point.
point.
Let's talk about
Okay, you
that.
was not
Yes,
living what you're supposed to be
you are
doing. You
right.
know,
You are
that's
right. Yes,
right. That's I had to
yes.
sneak that in there. I
I
had to
like
sneak
that.
it
That
in.
was good. That was
Okay,
good.
because our topic today is imposter syndrome and
Yes, yes,
perfectionism. So yeah,
yes.
she
You
was
called
not
that one
living
out.
up. I'm sorry. That's fair. It's fair, right?
That is
It's
fair.
fair.
You called it
Okay.
out. That's right.
Okay. And so here is the name. I'm gonna show this kid. This is the name of her down in North Carolina, another level counseling and consultation. If you follow my page, she is the online therapist.
Yes.
Okay. And she comes on with great tips. Okay. I love it. I really love it. I
Thank
share
you.
a lot of it because
Yay.
she's just that good. Okay.
Yes.
So I think I got everything at this point. Now I'm going to bring up the next lady, and her name is Dr. Portia M. York.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, hello. So tell
Yes.
me about you. You're an entrepreneur, fiber artist, creative education,
Yes.
and author. Tell us about this.
Yes. So I am a fiber artist. If no one knows what fiber art is, it is art that deals with all types of fiber. It could be synthetic, natural fibers, and you create things from them. So that could be my specialty is crocheting. I have a crochet certification. I also teach how to embroider, how to do weaving, how to do fabric dyeing, how to do block printing. So lots of different things with fibers and textiles to create art. And so that is also how I started my business, York Creative Education Group,
Mhm.
and that business actually offers crochet workshops. Those workshops revolve around offering crochet to support mental health, like wellness and well-being. It supports team building. And it really just supports having fun and doing crochet circles because it releases serotonin in the brain and helps relax people and have lower stress and anxiety. And
Wow.
then you can have fun while doing it. So the business supports those types of things. And that's kind of what I do with my time.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
do have time. You also have a Michelle Vance says she loves it. I
Thank you,
love
Michelle.
it.
Thank you,
Okay.
Michelle.
Okay, but I love it too. I did go to your website and I did see you said something about it releases the serotonin. I was going to ask you about that. So the serotonin is going to calm you down. So please go to her website. There she is right there because she really got into it. Her neck started moving and everything. I mean, like saying, hey, this
You
is
know
this
that's my jam.
that's your jam. Okay, that's my jam.
That's my
Okay, I
jam.
can see it was, but that's the different thing about the crocheting, and how it calms you down, And
That's
I'm like,
right.
okay, I need to look into that. But
Yeah,
nevertheless, you also are an author,
I
okay?
am.
And
Yes,
let's see that book. You got it there?
I have it here.
Okay,
Here
the
is my
influence of
book.
dramatic arts on literacies for Black girls in middle school.
Yeah,
Amazon.com. You guys need to go.
it's
Tell us a
yeah,
little bit about it really quick there.
I will. So, I'm an artist by trade. That's just my thing. And so, although this book does not revolve around fiber art, it revolves around drama with Black girls and how practicing drama can help support with reading, writing, speaking, expression, and just really navigating through some discrimination and some racism around things that are thrown at Black girls even today. Stuff that I experienced as a child, but it's still going on today. So learning how to take these strategies and use them, help them navigate through life, like breathing exercises, like taking a walk in someone else's shoes, like transforming your mind and body to go through an experience that might be hurtful or painful. So all of these things are helping Black girls. So this book is really good for educators. It's good for parents to check out. It is on Amazon. It's also on the Lexington Books website. It can be purchased there as well. So definitely check it out. It's something that I studied in grad school, turned that into a book, did the research behind it. And so I had an opportunity to speak with Black girls and interview them and get their personal feedback, their personal experiences that I wrote about in this book. So I'm really happy to share it.
You serious about that too?
I'm
I can
serious
feel it
about
coming
it.
out through the camera. I'm like, ooh,
I'm serious
okay,
about
yeah.
it. Yeah.
I want to stop right now and go get it. Okay. But that was Portia M. York. Okay, talk about her book. You know, I'm excited to have both you ladies here. So let's get into what we here for, what we are here for. Let's talk about imposter syndrome, okay, and perfectionism, right? Okay. So I'll start off with the definition that I have that in 1978, this lady named Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes, they wrote, it's an internal experience of intellectual phoniness. I'm like, okay. It's external validation, but you lack internal acknowledgments of their accomplishments. Okay. It says imposter phenomena, they call it imposter syndrome, they call it phenomena, is a distorted system of belief about oneself that can have powerful negative impact on an individual's validation of their own worth. Okay. So just stand right there and stuff. Tell us about what you know about imposter syndrome. Either one of you guys can jump in. It doesn't matter. Let's go with Dr. Portia first. Dr. Portia, tell us. I'll pick on you. Go for it, girl.
Okay. So what I have read and what I know about it is and again, I'm not sure if I believe it or not. I know what Fred thinks, but I'm not sure if I if I believe it or not. But I do know this is that, you know, as I've read about it and studied it a little bit, pertaining to some characteristics in myself, like perfectionism, or like never achieving enough, always on the grind to achieve more and more so I can feel like good enough. I do know that some of those things have impacted me in certain periods of my life. I can't say that I've always felt that every day of my life, but I know that I've experienced certain things that are listed under imposter syndrome. Now, I've read that there are certain categories of imposter syndrome, and I can't say that I meet every single bucket to self-diagnose, but I do know that when people broadly talk about it and broadly speak about it and broadly categorize people under it, I have met some of those buckets. I've met some of those places where I'm like, oh, you know, am I able to speak to this group of people and make sure that I'm saying the exact perfect thing at the right time and sound intelligent and, you know, all of these things. And, you know, then you walk away and say, should I have said this or should I have said that? Or, you know, and when I reflect back on an experience like that, and I know myself, I'm like, of course I said the right thing. But sometimes in the moment, you don't know or feel like you're saying the right thing. Right. And then you have to take a step back and say, yes, of course I know what I'm talking about. Of course I said the right thing. So I think that I've experienced some of the characteristics listed under imposter syndrome. I just don't know if I would say that I diagnose myself with that.
Okay.
I don't know if that explains it well.
Yeah, it does. But and they did say it's not a mental disorder and it's not in the DSM or the ICD. It's not in either one of those
So
books.
somebody made it up. Somebody just
Somebody,
made this
I mean,
thing up.
they made it up in
Yeah.
1978, I believe. I think it's
Okay.
1978.
1978.
1978. I think that's when they started it. And based on that, I know that Dr. Sonia got something to say about that
I
one.
do. You know, I
Okay,
do.
I'm ready for you, girl. Go for it.
So I agree. I agree with Portia now. So I agree. The characteristics, yes, they do show up. But so as you stated, it was developed by Susie. Did you call it Susie or Suzanne?
Susan, what
And
is her
then
name?
and
You
and
shortened the name of Susan.
Susan
I
Ives,
did
and
call it Susie. Yeah, I called it
you
Susie.
call her Susie. That was wrong. You might as well call her Becky. Anyway,
Becky. Okay, so it was created in the 70s. And
78, 1978, I believe. But go ahead.
1978, initially created for high achieving white women.
That's when they
So not
started.
necessarily didn't have the lens of the intersectionality of the black woman or LGBTQ populations, et cetera, whatever you want to say there. So first of all, my issues with it, imposter, uh, details something very negative, it's a negative connotation. So that means you're being fake. So I don't believe in being, I'm not fake.
Hmm.
Just because I doubt myself doesn't mean I'm fake. And then the other thing is syndrome. I don't believe a syndrome has also a negative connotation because it means it's a
Right.
collection of disorders or a collection of things that aren't right. So something's wrong. And so to call high achieving women and to create this label imposter syndrome, I have an issue with it because it was directed towards women and it's very negative. Now, the one thing I noticed you mentioned in the definition is distorted thoughts. We have thousands of thoughts every day. We choose which thoughts we want to focus on. So
Hmm.
there are plenty of times throughout my day where I'm super confident and I don't have self doubt. But then because we've attached a label to imposter syndrome, we then tune into that doubt to try to figure out what's wrong with us. And then
Hmm.
the other thing, when I look at the definition, it also talks about the feelings of. Feelings come and go. I might feel 10 different feelings and emotions at the same time. It doesn't mean something's right or wrong with what I'm feeling. So just because I doubt myself doesn't mean I have a syndrome. It doesn't mean I'm fake. It doesn't mean I'm crazy. It just means that I'm a Black woman living in a society where there's discrimination, racism, oppression, and people doubt my competence. And so, of course, I'm going to have self doubt because I'm in settings where people are constantly doubting that I know what I'm talking about. And so that doesn't necessarily mean I have a syndrome. That just means I'm in a racist, oppressive society that forces me at times to doubt and question myself. And so I
Wow.
don't think there's anything for me to fix. There's not a syndrome. That is society.
So, and I read somewhere
I love that.
Girl,
that
you crazy.
I read somewhere
Hey,
that
let me say something. Dr. York. Okay, Michelle Vance said women and women of color are more
color,
likely to
right?
experience it due to the dominant ideologies, in my opinion. Thank you. Is it Dr. Vance, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. But I'm just listening. I'm just listening. Go ahead, Dr. York.
No, I was going to say that I agree with a lot of what she said, and also, so you said it started with this term or this syndrome for white women, high achieving white women, right?
Mhm.
So the question is how that syndrome became more prevalent
Yeah.
with women of color, right?
Yeah.
Well, how did it all of a sudden become that women of color, it's now more prevalent for us? And I
Yes.
remember reading something that said, um, when people ask, well, how does this come about to a person? How does a person say, oh, I now have imposter syndrome? And the answer to that question was that you did not receive enough praise as a
Mhm.
child. And I
Ah,
thought, odd, because, I know my parents praised things that I did as a child, oh, that's very good. Or you did, I was a smart child and I was a creative child. And I know they praised things I
mhm.
did. So I was trying to understand like how this term is not in any of the DSMs. So who's coming up with all of the stuff?
Yeah.
Who's coming up with these
Who did
words of,
this?
yeah, where's it
So,
coming from?
yeah.
Yeah, and here's the question: how did it become more dominant for women of color? I'm giving that
Color.
to Dr. Sonia
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah. You know I'm ready.
I know you ready. Go for it, girl.
So in my opinion, this is just according to me, according to my
Okay,
theology, my theory,
according to Dr.
right?
Sonia, go ahead.
Um, because as women of color, I'm just gonna say Black women, because as Black women, we are already high achieving and have high abilities. Imposter syndrome is a way to keep us in check.
Mm,
So the more we can doubt our excellence, because we know we walk in excellence, the
that's
more
right.
we can doubt that and question that, and the more they can label it as something wrong, as a syndrome, it allows us to continue to live underneath the covers or to hide ourselves or not fully show up. And so imposter syndrome to me is like a way to escape your greatness. And
That's
like you,
good. I like that. Escape
yeah,
Mm,
your greatness.
yeah.
yeah,
I
escaping
mean,
your
if you
greatness.
don't escape it, you don't know how to stay in it.
Yes, you gotta
Okay.
Mhm,
walk in
You
it.
don't
mm,
know
You
how
gotta
to
walk
get in
in
it
it.
and stay in it,
mhm.
And
Yeah.
I can just say, I do have that problem. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I
Mhm.
need to read my resume. I need to really read my resume. And they said when I was reading that you're right, imposter syndrome is the way to escape your greatness. And if I don't read my resume or call my
Mhm.
son,
Mhm.
who gives me a real good yeah, that okay, is that if I don't do that, I can still find myself going off into a deep end. Yes, I'm educated. Yes, I know how to do a bunch of things. Yes, yes, yes. But I still, if I don't capture myself
Mhm.
and get my thoughts together, I'm gone for
Yes.
a
Mhm,
minute, and it
mhm.
can lead to, and I'll go to the social worker, Dr. Sonia, it can lead to depression,
Mhm.
anxiety, inadequacy, it can lead to procrastination. It can lead to a number of different things because you did not capture that thought.
Mhm.
Here's
Okay.
where you have to crochet.
Okay.
Yes.
That's when you got to crochet.
Here's when you have to crochet because that is when I say, "Oh, I'm going to do this thing right here," and it makes me feel good. It brings me down. It brings my positive thoughts back, and I know that I'm walking in my greatness. I know that I'm doing good things in the world.
Mhm.
Yeah, Dr. Vance said that was good. There you go. I
Yes,
like that
yes.
Dr. Vance is all into it. I like her. But
Can I share a
anyway,
story, Marilyn? Can I share a story?
you better go for it.
Okay, okay. So one thing I would say is for us to reframe imposter syndrome to maybe self-doubt. Like let's just call it like
Mhm.
self-doubt or lack of confidence. Like let's get rid of maybe imposter
The
syndrome.
term. Mhm.
So a couple of weeks ago, I had a speaking engagement. So those of you who don't know, Portia and I are best friends, right?
I
So,
did know. I did know.
oh
I
yeah,
did
we
not
are best
know.
friends. We
Hey,
talk
friend, we
every
Okay.
talk every day.
we talk every day.
Oh, okay.
You didn't know that,
I
Marilyn?
did not.
You
Yeah,
didn't? Are you serious?
I'm very serious. I did not know that.
I love it.
Okay.
Yes. Well, so I spoke to I spoke in an event a couple of weeks ago to a large audience, and I was telling Portia after my talk, I was like, yeah, I said I was just questioning myself the whole time during the talk, and I just don't feel like I did my best, and so I had a lot of self doubt. Like although people said, oh, it was great, you did a great job, that was an excellent talk, I still doubted myself, and I still do doubt myself at times, and
Hmm.
it's okay. Like, that's not anything that needs to be diagnosed. That's not a syndrome. It's just that and when I think about it, the most of the time when I'm doubting myself is when I'm in audiences with a lot of people who don't look like me.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
But one
And
of the things that my son says is this is that they're looking at you. So evidently they want something from you. So
yeah.
you
Mm,
are the subject matter
Mhm.
expert. And
right.
it's always woulda, coulda, shoulda, done whatever and
Mhm.
stuff. But walking off of that stage, they were looking at you. You were looking at them, but you was one and they was 1,000 or whatever, right? So
Right.
they're coming to you and they know that you know. And I love the fact you ladies are on here and being transparent because you all are PhDs.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it has nothing to do with the title. It
Mhm.
has something to do with the intrinsic part of us, the
Yeah.
internal part of us. And that's what I'm saying because it has nothing to do with if you don't have a degree, you got a degree, you got several alphabets behind your name, means nothing. Okay. If you don't have that self confidence and everybody else self doubt, don't get me wrong, they do. But
Mhm.
how long do you entertain it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
long do you entertain that
Yes.
and see, and as we walk, let me walk into perfectionism, okay, and let me
Mhm.
let me give you a definition on that one. It's defined as holding yourself to an impossibly high standard.
Mhm.
Okay, they think what they do is never good enough. Okay, it can make you feel so unhappy in life. It's a not a healthy motivator. And guess what they said? It's not necessarily a learned behavior either.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So perfectionism, how do you guys feel about that? That perfectionism part of it. Okay. And then wait, let me just read this. This one person said when perfection is the aim, everything falls short, meaning that success is never internalized, okay? Which can spark or perpetuate those insecure, fraudulent feelings of the imposter syndrome, okay? Because trying to be perfect and you don't never make it, then you get in that vicious cycle of I'm gonna say self-doubt, even though we're talking about imposter syndrome, the self-doubt comes in there. So what you guys got to say about perfectionism and the
Yeah.
syndrome?
Um, I mentioned that earlier. I think I also have a touch of that in me. And but I
I got it. I'm
but
with you. I'm with you. I'm with you, man.
but again, I didn't necessarily categorize that to imposter syndrome. I do know I have some perfectionism, but I also have other stuff. And I got some OCD. I got a little bit of everything. And
Well,
so
that's on the other show, Dr. York. That's on the other
it's,
show. Okay, go
and
ahead.
so but I'm just saying that I think that it's okay though, because I've learned as I've matured and as I've gotten older that success looks different for different people. But it took me like a minute to understand that for myself, to say I don't have to follow someone else's path. Success looks different for different people. So my perfectionism now has turned into like my own standards. I have to live up to these standards for accomplishing things, right? And I'm not saying that that's always healthy,
Mhm.
because there's times I'm burned out. I'm tired, but I'm still pushing through. And so I think that it's a matter of me like mentally kind of walking myself through what I'm trying to do. What are you trying to do, Portia? Where are you trying to go? What are you doing? And then try to be realistic with those goals, because I do have these touches of I got to do this, got to do that, got to do this. It's never ending. It goes on. My husband says I'm like the Energizer Bunny with the batteries. They're just like I was just like going, I'm
Yeah,
going.
yeah, 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 yeah. But
So I
it's
got to take one battery out. Take
but
one
the
battery out.
standard that you have is your standard, right?
Now it is. I think
Okay,
when I
and
was
different
younger, I
people
didn't
have
learn.
different standards. Some people okay with getting a C. I'm not. Okay,
Neither.
some people can live in a world of C's because they say C's get degrees. That's undergraduate. Okay, so
Mhm.
C's do get degrees, but however, in my mind, if unless I'm desperate, if it's a stats class, I'll take a C. Okay, certain
Mhm.
classes I would take a C, and some classes I'm not taking a C. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I
gotcha.
know
I
myself.
know.
You know,
Yes.
I
you know what
know.
I'm saying? So different
I know.
levels, but it's about making yourself be so high up that you never think that you're good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But I
Yeah.
know on your bad day, you're great. You're
Mm-hmm.
great on
Mhm.
your bad day,
Yes.
And
Mhm.
so those are the
Mhm.
things that you have to remember when you start thinking about imposter syndrome, self doubt, whatever. As I
Mhm.
listen to you guys, I don't think that there is, and I know Fred will be happy with me, there is a such thing
Mm-hmm.
as imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Okay, I've been convinced that is really I've been changed. Okay,
So
that
you think differently now that is not such a thing.
I don't think it's everything is in the mind. It's the mindset, right?
Yes.
Okay, so imposter syndrome. I can go with you, Dr. Richardson, when you say it keeps us in a box.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it
Mm-hmm.
keeps us always trying to get out of the box and don't know how to get out of the box. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? And so I can go along with it, and like you said, imposter syndrome is a way to escape your greatness. And also it gives you an excuse not to be great.
Yes. Can I interrupt the can I reframe perfectionism as well?
Please.
Okay, so with my kids in my household, we have this saying that I share with them all the time. I said, in our family, we don't strive for perfectionism. We strive for excellence. We don't. I tell them we don't do perfectionism in this household. We do excellence, and there's a
Right.
difference.
There is.
Perfectionism is very individualistic. It
Mhm.
is it's really based on the standard of whiteness. Okay. So when I aim for perfectionism, I am aiming for things to be right for me to do things
Mm-hmm.
exactly the way they need to be done,
Mm-hmm.
that I think they need to be done. Excellence is collective. As a
Mhm.
people, as Black people, our ancestors were all about collectivism. We worked together to achieve. It was
Right.
never about solidarity. So
Mm-hmm.
the more we aim for perfectionism is us chasing this idea of whiteness being the standard, this idea of I have to do it right. And when we chase excellence, we understand and realize and accept that it's the community that embraces the success. So it's me
Wow.
working with other people and not me working for myself. So I don't chase. I try to stay away from, and not to say I don't do it, because I mean, I don't know. I can't say I do. I think I do lean more towards excellence. Like I practice
Yes.
excellence because
Yes.
excellence is collective. I don't need
Mhm.
to I don't need to aim towards that standard. That's not my standard.
Well, you also said today that excellence is a habit. Okay,
Yeah.
you become what you do,
Mhm.
right? I read it. I read your post, and excellence, excellence is a habit, and
Yeah.
I understand that. So, okay, so we talk about we kind of like said that it don't exist, right? But
Mhm.
for those people out there that say it does exist, what can we tell them to help them? Now, they did say when you talk about imposter syndrome and perfectionism, they said one of the management skills is to become aware of it, adjust
Mhm.
your self talk. Okay, you got all these different tasks, like you said, Dr. York, running everywhere. It said break it up into big tasks into smaller ones.
Mhm.
Okay, I said take note of your achievements. Go read some things. Okay,
Mhm.
go read your resume or something, right?
Mhm.
Okay. And then here's one that I really love. It says, get a reality check from someone you love. Okay. And then it says about please be gentle with yourself. That's
Mhm.
how you can
Mhm.
manage it on your own. But for
Mhm.
example, you might have these 5 steps, but they're not working. What else can we do? I think they do group therapy. What do they do? Dr. Richardson, that's for you. You know. Okay. What happens? Do you have any patients that come to clients, patients that come to you? Really? I believe you. I don't know why I said really, but that come to you that talk about this at all? Is it a topic or not?
Yeah, I mean, I have so I work with a lot of Black women, and I think
Mhm.
Black women in general just deal with that constant self-doubt and
Yeah.
questioning, not thinking that they're enough or thinking they have to do more and more and more, kind of like what Dr. York was mentioning. And so I think
Mhm.
that's common. Typically, like in therapy, like for treatment, we would center that more around anxiety. So you're thinking and helping them to change their thought processes. So,
Okay.
like for example, when I gave the when I talked about doing a speech a couple of weeks ago and questioning, was that okay? And da da da. We teach them how to reframe that talk. So
Yes.
instead of me saying to myself, "Was that okay?" I don't know if I don't know if they really received it well. Then I need to reframe that to, I gave it the best that I could give it. I showed up
Mm.
the way I needed to show up in that moment, and it's okay. Somebody got what they needed, and that's okay. Everybody might not be impressed, and nobody ever will. I will never
Mhm.
win over the whole crowd, and it's okay.
100%.
I just need to
Right.
let me just have one person. That's it. And so it's reframing that negative internal self-talk
Mhm.
that we've developed, and really just learning how to do that. And like you said on that last tip, have you with some good friends. So like
Mhm.
Dr.
Mhm.
Dr. Vance, my sister. I have people who cheerlead me. So those
Mhm.
times when I'm doubting myself and questioning myself, they'll remind me, but remember this and remember that, because I do
Mhm.
forget.
Mhm. And that's
Yeah.
good because I do that with any Dr. Richardson mentioned, we talk on a regular. So if she's speaking in front of someone or I am, of course there's something trickling sometimes in your head where you're thinking, "Oh, was that good enough?"
Mhm.
It was good, but sometimes just having that person to "Oh, of course that was good. I heard you talk about this. You know this information. This is what you study. This is your research." We say that to each other. And the other thing is like acknowledging the small wins too, to get the negative talk out of your head. So
Mhm.
yeah, I got this. I acknowledge that this was a win and I got this. It's a small win and it's the positive talk versus questioning, did I do that right? Instead of saying the questioning and the negative talk, you said, "Oh, I got this. I did great." So just shifting the thought process.
Yeah, they said that you can do group therapy, you can do words of affirmation, get
Hmm.
that intrinsic motivation. They said mentors, therapy. I like this one because you just said this, Dr. Sonia, extracting self doubt
Yes.
Hmm.
before the experience for you is after experience. Just
Yes.
take it out, reframe your words, reframe
Reframe
your
it.
words. I might fail, I might not do so well. Okay,
Yeah.
something of that nature. And that really helps. So a lot of this stuff You can really do it on your own, but please know that I don't say not go to a
Yeah.
therapist. No, I
Yeah.
say go to a
Yeah.
therapist, you
I
know.
agree.
And please understand that all therapists are not created equal. All right. So if you
Amen to that.
if you go to one and they're not doing so well with you, you're not comfortable. I mean, please find another. You know, therapy is beneficial, you know, and this is the month of May, Mental Health Awareness Month. You know, therapy is okay. And if
Mhm.
you're dealing with fake imposter syndrome, but
Yeah.
it ain't fake to you, that's what I found on this study, on this talk. Fake imposter syndrome or you're a perfectionist and stuff, you know, get all that self-doubt. Thank you, Kiara. You know, please, 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 you cannot stop the voices in your head. You need to go see a therapist. If
Can I
somebody
add to that,
call
Mary?
you, huh?
Can I add to that?
Please.
And then I will tell you the most helpful tip for me in dealing with imposter syndrome came from a friend of mine, Isis Bay. She's a therapist here in Charlotte, and she played for me one day the song "Take Up Space." And in this, the whole song, the whole premise is about as women, particularly Black women, take up space everywhere we go. With imposter syndrome, what happens is oftentimes we shrink. And
Mm,
when you do the opposite of shrinking, you take up space, meaning everybody's going to get all of me everywhere I go. I don't have to shrink. I don't have to hide. Everybody gets all of me, and
there
I'm
you
going to
Look
take
go.
at
up
Just
that.
like
space.
that. Just
Yes.
like that.
Look at
There you
that.
go. Yes. I'm going to take up my space. So to add to your tips, take up your space
Yeah,
That's right.
everywhere
that's
you go.
good. That's
I
good.
do
Yeah.
it online. I take up space online. I take up space everywhere I go. And that's
Mhm.
how
Yep,
I
you do.
fight. That's how I fight that self-doubt.
So when you say take up space, tell us a little bit about that. What do you mean? Just hey, you see me, I'm here, don't
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
Don't try
You
to act like you don't see me. Where we
Yes,
going with this? Let
yes.
me go street. Let me go street.
You
Where we
got it.
going
You
with
got
this?
it. It's all of that. It's all of that. It's I'm gonna
Yeah,
unapologetically, authentically show up wherever I go, and you're gonna
right.
see all of me. You're gonna get all of me, all of my extraness. Like I went to me and my sister had a graduation party this weekend. We're out on the dance floor dancing. You're gonna see all of
Right.
my extraness. I am not
Yeah.
gonna hide and I'm not gonna shrink. That is taking up space.
Wow. Okay. And I do have something that you wrote. You said be authentically and unapologetically you.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think I'm gonna have to take up space. I normally do it
Yes.
anyway. I didn't know what I was doing. Now I got a name that
You
I'm
didn't know what it was called,
I didn't
but
know
you
what
were
it was
already
called, but
doing
I
it.
take up
Right.
space no matter
Me
where I
too.
go. I'm gonna take
Me
it,
too.
okay? But I
Yep.
think that's good because the management really basically what you guys are telling me, management of all this starts with you.
Yes.
Okay. Everything starts with you. It's on the inside. You know, I had a guest on Dr. Cheryl Pelote Williamson that says validation is for parking.
Mm.
Mm,
Okay. It is
Good.
not for you to have
mm,
somebody to validate you, to tell you
mm,
that you was
Mm.
good. Do we
mm,
like people to say we was good? But guess what? On the inside, you know you was good, you know.
mm,
So all we need to do is try to stop that self-doubt, the woulda, coulda, shoulda. Okay,
mm,
no matter where we go, it's gonna come be creeping all behind you. I'm like, no, no, not today. Not
mhm.
today. I know
Yeah.
I did the doggone thing. Okay.
Right,
Now I
right.
tell you another thing that happens, and I read about this, is that when somebody gives you a compliment,
Yeah,
sometimes you just kind of, oh no, that wasn't nothing, girl.
that's
That was just,
right.
I just and this girl told me I had an opportunity to MC a Miss Fashionetta, which is huge, okay?
Mhm. Yeah.
And she said, Marilyn, man, you really did that. And I'm like, she said, you were so polished. I said, well, it's because that this other person was up there. She said, no, no, no. It was because of you. So she
Mhm.
helped me stop that,
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay? Because
that's
I was
right.
trying to take it down a notch.
Mhm.
And I kind of think about it as like a false sense of humility or something.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm,
about the humility
mhm,
stuff for me that
Mhm.
says,
mhm,
nah, I don't, nah, don't keep on saying that about me. In fact, I get uncomfortable. I mean, that's
Mhm.
goofy.
mhm.
I get so
'Cause we
uncomfortable when people start
giving
praising
you
me. I get
compliments.
uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do. I mean, I don't know if that ever happened to you guys. You'd be like, wait,
Mhm,
wait, wait, hold on. You
mhm.
going a little bit too thick. This a little bit too syrupy. Okay, so are you telling me the truth or is this some false flattery? So I mean, it's all about the mind and the gauges that are in your head.
Yeah.
that you really have to recalibrate, just like the GPS, recalibrate.
Mhm.
And you have to do that all the time in order to keep
That's
yourself
true.
out of that self-doubt. I mean, when you guys agree, the
Mhm.
Yeah.
recalibration,
Yeah.
that's the word, recalibrating your mind
Yeah.
daily. I mean, like you say, it starts with you and just keep on changing and keep changing whenever it takes in order to you to get to that positive. Okay. And then if
Mhm.
you can't get there, hey, call a friend. We just said it. Call somebody who really like you. Don't call a hater. Okay. Don't call a hater. Because the hater gonna make you go to the deep end. Okay. Don't call a hater. Okay. It starts with you. It starts with you, and you make sure you have that goodness of a friend, Dr. York, Dr. Richardson. You know, I can call you, and you want that person that's gonna call you, that you talk to, that just ain't gonna give you some stuff just
Yes.
to
Right.
get you off the
Right.
phone. You know, you got to know that they genuine about your health. That's what it
Yeah.
is. It's about your
It
health.
is.
And so, as we think about imposter syndrome, okay, and as we think about perfectionism, I think that perfectionism is true. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. I think that is true. You can have yourself too high. Okay. But on the other hand, imposter syndrome, it might be an imposter. Okay. Imposter syndrome might be an imposter. And don't use imposter syndrome just to be okay with yourself. What did
Yeah.
you say?
Right.
Is escaping greatness? You're
Yes.
Yeah.
escaping.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're selling yourself short. You know the story. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you're doing that. You're escaping your greatness. Don't do it.
Mm-mm.
Just don't
Mhm.
do it. It just don't make sense.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Mhm.
what, as my mom would say, don't make good sense. Okay. Just don't make
Mhm.
good sense to do that. You know. What's
Yes.
your
Mhm.
thoughts on that, Dr. Sonia?
I agree. I love everything that you said. I
Oh,
like
really? For real? Look, I'm doing imposter.
the yes, I
You
do. I
don't
do.
mean that. You don't mean that. No, I'm
I
sorry.
do. Everything you said. Yes,
No, that's good.
I totally agree. And I think
Yeah.
I do think perfectionism is real. I do think that's a real thing. And I do think we strive. Some people, oftentimes we try to strive for that. And I think we got to
Mhm.
reframe that as well. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think, I love the validation is for parking. Like I
Love
love that.
that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
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 That's Dr.
I had
And
not
Sharon.
heard that, and
Those
I
for
do
her.
love that too.
Yes.
yeah.
You
Yes. Go
it's
ahead, Dr. York.
interesting
I'm listening.
because I agree with what you said as well, and I have reframed the notion of what imposter syndrome is as well, just listening to this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that what you were talking about, Marilyn, about people giving you compliments and trying to praise you for good work, and often I think women of color do this as well, as we try to blow it off like it's not a big deal, and no, oh, it's just this, or oh, it's just that, and that's the opposite of taking up space.
Oh
That's
my
not
God. Oh
taking up
no.
space,
I
so
gotta
that's
stop this. Okay, go
yeah,
on.
because that's the opposite. I think we need to stand in it and accept it and receive it and just say thank you. One of the things that we often talk about, sometimes Sonia and I talk about it, is not being mediocre, because we're not.
Mm.
And that does not have to, that doesn't mean that you have to be so boisterous and cocky. And it means that you just stand in your greatness and you receive the praises, and you take up your space.
Yeah.
That's right. Stand in, accept, and receive your greatness
Yeah.
from
Mhm.
now on, because I think that I'm falling short. I'm taking my space. I'm
Yeah.
gonna just say thank you, girl. You know I was. No, I'm saying. I'm not. Wait a minute. No, let me do it like this. You ain't gotta tell me. I already know. No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just.
Yeah.
You need to tell me something new. You know
I
how you do.
know.
Okay, because I
Exactly.
already know I did that. Right? I know
That's
I
right.
did the
That's
doggone thing.
right. Uh,
And it's okay to talk to yourself like that. Like it's okay to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. To
And I
me,
did
the
that
common
recently
said
with Dr. York.
agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I told her recently. I was like, if I don't achieve, if I don't get this, then I know something wrong, because I know I'm deserving of this. You know what
right.
I'm saying?
Right.
And it
Something's
took me a
wrong
while
with
to get to that
them.
place. Yes,
Something's
something
wrong with
wrong with
them.
them. Yeah,
Mhm.
If they don't, okay, something wrong
yeah,
with them. It is
yeah.
not me.
It ain't
Okay.
me. Yeah,
I
it ain't.
got you. I got you. But this has been a really good conversation. I've taken away some really good nuggets, and I'm hoping that the audience or the hashtag replay, you know, take some nuggets from this and give it some real serious thought. you know, because like my son John, aka Fred, would say, imposter, really, mom, imposter. Okay, no, no, you're authentic, right? You're genuine, you're authentic. That imposter syndrome is a name. And I like the part about you can put it on yourself in order for you to have an excuse for not being great. That's I mean, I'm not, let me just say this, everybody in the audience, if you want to use it, go and use it, but just know that you're escaping your greatness. You're not living up to what you need to do, and in the long run it's going to spiral you down to a place that's dark. Okay, and you don't want to be there. You don't want to be in a place that's dark. You want to be in a place that's light, that's bringing positivity, that you can spread and let it be infectious with other people. People do not like to be around negative people. They negative people like negative, but positive people do not like negative people.
That's
They might
right.
be polite, but in their mind they be saying, really, okay, we don't want to be with you. So yeah. So I found, from this conversation, perfectionist, yes. Imposter syndrome, I think the jury's still out on it. Okay, it's still out on there. Out of the I mean, it's out there. It's been since what, 1978. They even had a meter or a scale that they can measure it. Yes, and in the end, they found that the scale couldn't measure.
Because there's no such thing.
There you go. It's
Yeah.
made up stuff. It's made
Yeah.
up stuff. Somebody wanted to get. Don't take this wrong. They PhD.
Mhm.
So they went ahead on and made it up so they can go on and look
Mhm.
real good because it was sounding real
Mhm.
good. Okay.
Mhm.
Because they was just trying to help people to understand where they were. So this has
Mhm.
been really a good talk. And I guess I can't say anything, but I guess we have to end it soon. But Dr. Sonia, Dr. Sonia, you can see her at Dr. Sonyia Richardson at gmail.com. Y'all better go there. Y'all need to go to her website. Okay. And y'all need to get her book. All right, because I want to get those 13. I want to go to those 13 places. Okay, experiencing greater, an intimate journey with God. Amazon.com. Amazon. You order it today. I mean, you order it 5 minutes, they'll be here. Okay, all right. And so, you can also email Dr. York at York Creative. Dr. York at YorkCreativeEducation.com. She is the crochet queen. Okay, she uses
That's
crocheting as
right.
a way to calm you down and a way to release that serotonin and all those other hormones that you need to calm yourself down. Okay, go to her website, yourcreativeeducation.com. I mean, ladies, this has been good. You can find her on Facebook. You can find her IG, Instagram. I know what that means. Instagram, Portia Marie York. Okay, you can go find her. So this is a no excuse. So guess what? On my next show on Monday, I'm going to be having someone come on who's done an anthology, and it's called Passion and Purpose. Okay. And the authors are Johanna Samuels and Vanessa Farrell. So that's my next show. But before I end this show, Dr. Sonia, Dr. York, I'm going to give you an opportunity to have some final words, just like Jerry Springer used to do. Okay. Go for it, Dr. Sonia.
I would just, my final words would be just imagine imposter syndrome like a pyramid. And in practicing excellence, our goal is to get to the top. Imposter syndrome, whenever you say you're struggling with it, or if you use those words, it just means that you're trying to come back down that pyramid steps. You're trying to get back down to the bottom. So when you
Wow.
yourself to the top, my final words.
Say it again, Doctor, because you froze up.
Broke up a little bit.
Uh-oh.
Okay, froze up. Say it again. We
Okay, so
came
I would,
down the bottom of the pyramid. Now
yeah,
go
so
ahead.
you're coming down the bottom of the pyramid when you hang on to that imposter syndrome. And instead of doing that, allow yourself to keep moving towards the top and take up space. So when you see that self-doubt coming in, it's okay. Just say take up space and keep going up your pyramid. Go to the top.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to the top. Okay. Y'all Dr. York, you on. Let's go.
My final words are take the opportunity, whatever way you believe about imposter syndrome, take the opportunity to listen to tonight's discussion and just really think in your own thoughts, in your own mind, where you fit and how this affects you. So, you've read a lot of people have read a lot about it, but really take the words you heard tonight and listen and reframe your own thoughts around imposter syndrome and how it affects you. And then also, when you are feeling the self-doubt and when you are feeling less than or feelings of perfectionism, find an outlet to help with those thoughts. As I mentioned, my outlet is art, it's crocheting. That outlet helps me overcome lots of negativity, lots of negative thoughts where I feel, my greatness. I experience my greatness with that. So those are my final words.
All right. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. My final words is get the help you need. Okay. If it means that's my final words. Get the help you need. Not me, but you. Get the help that you need. So next week, as June the 5th, that we're coming back with two authors, and I'm excited about talking about that and this passion and purpose. And you ladies have been just amazing. Okay. You
Thank
have
you.
really
You've been
changed.
great.
You done really changed a bunch of things. Okay. Tamika Thomas said, thank you, ladies. And I
Yes, thank
really do
Yes,
hope
yeah.
that this was great. Thanks, ladies, for pouring into us. It
you.
is a round of applause. It's a round. It's a round. Okay. I thank you guys for coming on, and everybody that's in the audience now. Hashtag replay. I just appreciate you guys so much, because if you didn't really hear everything really well, or you need to go on and unpack this thing, please hit the hashtag replay and go back, because there was a lot of good chunks in this, okay, that you may need to meditate on. That's the word, okay? So until next time, okay, I thank you so much, ladies, Dr. York, Dr. Richardson, for spending the time with me. So until then, next time, you guys take care. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you so
Uh-huh.
much. Bye.